USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I didn't think that this last hater that I was talking about, like, I thought that this was something that was, like, new. Like, he just now discovered my content. I mean, I don't know, like, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, okay, he probably have known for some time, like, about my videos. But, or at least have, like, watched my videos through, just the robot for some time. But I guess has taken the time now to start hating on my videos. So I feel like I need to explain something real quick, I guess, before I get into this next part, because Instagram has this feature where you can send messages to yourself. So it's kind of like if you're familiar with, like, Google Drive, and there's, like, another, there was the name of this, like, one, like, file sharing, like, platform where you can, like, you just put files, like, so if, like, let's say for an example, if you take a picture or record a video, then you send it to, like, this file sharing website, and then you can open it up on your computer in case if it's some, like, stuff that you need to edit. So that's what, like, Instagram pretty much does, right? So at one point in time, I was doing that where I would send videos to myself because I'm like, if I'm scrolling through my phone and I see a video and I'm like, oh, this can be a video that I can react to when I get home. Then yeah, I was doing that for a little bit. So anyways, I was scrolling through those messages because I was like, yeah, there were a lot of videos I sent to myself that I don't think I ever did get a chance to react to. And I seen an account where it was, hold on for a second, let me read out the title of this account again. So the name reads out, "I'm never going to stop hating on TMossBoss." But then I looked at the username, because you know how YouTube works, where it got the name and the username. Same username from the guy that I was that was talking about maybe a couple of months ago, the one on Twitter where he was sending some very threatening tweets that could maybe not get him in trouble, because yeah, we all know that it's a minor, but overall it could get his parents in trouble. And yeah, it's like I still got the screenshots, I still got the comments that he was leaving and stuff, and it's like, yeah, harassment, terroristic threats, stuff like that. You know, yeah, that can maybe not, well, I guess, like, no, I feel like, yeah, that could get you into some form of trouble, at least questioning, and then then next thing you know, you're underneath some sort of investigation, because I think how that will work, so like if I were to contact the local police, then they will have to contact somebody higher up, because they're like, you know, this is kind of, it's for one out of our jurisdiction, so we can't pursue something if it's, you know, yeah, out of the county and state and all that stuff. So I think, yeah, next up it would be the FBI. And I know so here's the thing, I'm gonna explain this, but I feel like that there's gonna be people talking about, like, because I just remember there was somebody that was trying to defend this guy, and I'm gonna get to that in a moment. But anyways, to explain, I guess, how that process would go if I were to pursue charges. So it would get passed from the local police to the FBI. The FBI will have to do an investigation to figure out where this guy is at. But with all the different accounts that he done created, because there's the one account that, well, it did get suspended, but I'm pretty sure Twitter or FBI will have to contact Twitter and be like, hey, what was, like, the last, like, known ping location of this account? Then yeah, overall they just pretty much would go through them, figure out where you're at, go to your house, ask you some questions, most likely have to bring you in for questioning. Your parents see how you carrying on the internet, confiscate all this stuff from you. People think I'm saying this all to, like, frighten this kid, but it's like, no, I am. Like, that's the intentions. I want to frighten this kid, and I want to frighten anybody else out there that's thinking, like, oh, it's funny and okay to do this, because I just remember when somebody tried to defend this guy and was all like, oh, he's just trolling. That's not trolling. Like, there's people that have lost their life. Like, there was the one content creator I remember where she was, I think, a singer or something like that. I think the guy, he had, like, some weird fascination with her and things, but he ended up shooting and killing her. And I'm not trying to go out like that. I ain't trying to go out because like, oh, I don't like his videos and stuff. Okay, if you don't like my, I'm going to talk on that. There's a lot of different things I need to talk on. But overall, the main moral of this podcast episode is just let people know to move on. I know I may talk on this, but I'm talking on this for educational lessons, I guess, to any up-and-coming or content creator that's dealing with the drama for the first time in their career. So it's like people, it's funny how they'll try to like flip it on me, tell me to move on. Yet you have guys like this where, and so the funny thing is, when I had looked at the time when I had sent, because it was a comment that he left underneath my video, and then I had I sent the screenshot of that, and then I had also sent the account through like the Instagram messages. I looked at the timestamp of when I sent those messages, fam. That was back in 2023. So this guy has had an issue with me for over 2 years now, and it's one of those things where it's like, you sit down, you think about that, and it's like, you're upset over videos. Like, sit down and think about that. You're upset because of some video. The funny thing is, he hasn't even, that was like all the stuff that he ever sent me. He never got into detail on what it was that did upset him. And it's most likely the made up rumors or just overall the stuff that Just a Robot done said about me and things. But I'm like that, and that's just to even talk on him real quick. That's the influence that he has on people. Where it's like, and because he's even said it himself, how he don't be letting go of stuff. So, of course, he sits down and has conversations with his fans, or if because most likely he done talked about that in videos, because with the amount of times people are going to mention it, he's most likely done mentioned it a few times in his videos. So, people hear that, they follow through with it because they're a fan of him. They're a supporter of his. They're like, oh, whatever he's into or whatever mindset he's on, I have to be on that same mindset, because they think somehow, some way he got his life together. Meanwhile, it's like this guy can't even upload a video without offending somebody to save his life. Like, it's just stuff like that. You sit down, you think about it, and it's like, bro, if you really, I guess, like, still talking to Just the Robot, if you're really trying to be somebody successful, the route that you went down, that's not the route. It's like, but even when you look at people, because I feel like that he would try to argue and say that he is successful. He done had these videos, get all these views. He done gain all these subscribers. But it's like, look at your last few videos. Look at how your subscriber count is declining. You call that successful? I'm saying that's one of those things where it's funny how, like, somebody that cannot be in his position, where it's like, or I guess, like, let's say they were in his position at one point in time, but let's say they stepped away, or let's say it's some like superstar athlete that, ruptured their Achilles or tore their ACL, broke their arm, leg, something, but it's like, it's funny how it's like people that will have their like dreams put on hold, but they still got their life more together than Just a Robot and his fan base. So that's why I'm like, I mean, you're sitting around worried about other people. It's like, can you really look at yourself and say, and that's the thing where it's like, you can put this guy into a just circle of people and they can all be talking about their problems. It's going to get to him and they're going to ask him what's been bothering him the past couple of years. And he's going to say me. And they're all like, well, how does he bother you? He most likely don't even know why I'm bothering him. He just woke up one day and is like, I'm going to just start hating on TMossBoss. That's how most haters are. I mean, like, I can think back when I was a kid and or I was a teenager. And, I was like, I've told that story before when I hated on Ray William Johnson, that content creator, for a little bit. And I had no actual legitimate reason to hate on him. He never did anything to me. He never said anything to me. All that man did was upload videos. So what reason did I have to hate him? I don't even know why. I just woke up one day and I just randomly didn't like his videos. I think I had watched one of his videos or something, and I didn't like it. And I was like, and then the funny thing is that I don't even remember what the video was, but it was no different than the videos that he used to upload, the Equal 3 videos and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm hating on this guy. And I stopped. And I realized that it was pointless. I'm not going to achieve nothing hating on this guy. And I was thinking that when I was a teenager. So my thing is this. If this guy claims to be an adult, it's like, what is your mental process like to where it's like you're allowed to be out in public? Like, that's the type of stuff that I be sitting down thinking about. These guys be walking up and down the streets out in public and stuff. Like, and I feel like scared for the people that surround them. Like, random strangers that most likely don't even know what this person is capable of. Because I look at individuals like this as crazy. From Just a Robot to his fans to his friends. Anybody that still openly, publicly supports this guy, I look at them as all crazy. Like, something's mentally wrong with you guys. Like, y'all got some serious issues to where y'all don't need to be out in the middle of the, just anywhere. Y'all don't need to be out in public, pretty much. I mean, just, the thing is this, right? When you look at all the damage that these guys have done throughout the process of when, or I guess like before that Cinnamon video. Look at all the damage that they've done to people, where there's some creators that don't even show their face anymore on on the internet because of him. There are some that ditched the spot, like they're not even content creators anymore. Having it where my fans then been affected by just a robot and his fan base. And then it's like, then for you guys, even after he done did one of the most craziest things in his career, and y'all still support him, you gotta find something weird with that, so that's why I'm like, man, but just sitting down and thinking, this guy's been good. But I mean, even with the one dude, the other Twitter dude that was hating on me, where it's like, I think when I had, at the time being, back in 2020, when I'd seen how long he had been hating on me, it was going all the way back to, I think, like 2017, 2018. And that's something where I just wanted to talk. And that guy is an adult. He's actually an adult. He's in his 20s. And that's something that I'm like, that's very concerning, I guess, like, for those around you. Because I'm like, I feel scared for that guy's family. Because most likely I don't see nobody like that being out on their own. If he's out on his own, then it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's dangerous, because there's nobody to talk with him. There's nobody to guide him. There's nobody to like watch over him to make sure he don't get in no trouble. But people like that, it's like it gets to a point where they do get out on their own, and then they do get out into some sort of trouble to where they're now altering somebody's life, and then now they go into prison and things. And it's like, it don't need to be like that though, but it's just to find yourself where you're that upset over somebody's videos. You really have to sit down and ask yourself, is it that serious? Is it that serious to be hating on somebody for like over 2 years? And I get like talking on the first dude, and then with this guy, it's like to be dragging this on for 2 years. And it's funny how like over that time period, I don't know how many times, like if I sit down and I'm telling people, like people ask me like, oh, what's your advice with content creating? And I'm like, avoid the haters. I give them the rundown of like, my run-ins with haters, and people are like, bro, stop talking about it. Let it go. And I'm like, I'm actually trying to help people with this. Like, at the end of the day, do you think that you're helping anybody by hating on TMossBoss? How is this helping? That's why the last time I was talking with this guy, and I haven't, because like I had just overall abandoned that situation, I guess, for those that if you haven't been following recently. So the last episode I think I did where I was talking about that guy, I had told him, where I was like getting on him, I'm like, if you really have this hatred for me, then go out in public and tell people about your hatred towards me. Not like on no like internet public stuff. No, I mean like go to your local mall or go to your local like restaurant, just anywhere where there's a crowd of people, and explain to them your hatred towards me, and just see how they give you a weird look like, bro, what does this got to do with anything that's going on in the world right now? Notice how the funny thing is, the first hour of the day all the way to the last hour of the day, does me existing, I guess, alters the world's existence? Does it mess this world up? Are there people losing out on their houses and cars and, their money in their accounts, having it where let's say they might still have all that stuff, but they now can't put gas in their car. Their lights just got shut down, or they can't put food on the table. They done lost their job all because I exist on the internet. I've never heard of that. And if that was the case, I'm like, man, I didn't realize I had that much power. But the thing is this though, my existence doesn't affect anybody. From my neighbors to your neighbors to nobody. So it really trips me out how a person can have that much hatred in their heart towards someone. It's like, I'm not doing that. The thing is this, I guess, like to like just because I probably am going like, I'm gonna try to like drag this on for like 15 minutes and stuff, but as much as I possibly can with this next part. But the only person that's messing your life up is you. You sit around and you hate on TMossBoss. I'm not forcing you. Ain't nobody telling you to sit. You have that choice to do whatever it is that you want to do in this world. You can travel. You could go follow in some sort of hobby and turn it into a career. Or you can explore new careers. You can enlist in the military. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. You could write a book. You could, not even if you don't even want to write a book, you could get into writing. You can learn a language. There's all these different things that you could do, but you'd rather sit around and hate on TMossBoss. That's why I'm gonna title this episode when it does come out, like let the drama go or let the beef go, whichever. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you have to. Because I'm like 2 years and you still, I thought this guy just woke up one day and he just randomly started hating on me and stuff. I didn't realize that it's been going on for 2 years, but I'm like, you still, and it's funny how like even before knowing that and the amount of times I've said that where it's like, these guys will hate on somebody for years and they realize that they haven't went nowhere. It's like, bro, you haven't. Like, this is the furthest that you've made it, and it's been 2 years. 2 years. So yeah, it's one of those things like but the offer still stands though. I'm like, yeah, go out and about in public and tell people how much you hate me. It's like you creating accounts across all these different, because he done created a couple of YouTube channels, because then there was that one that I found through my messages. Then there's another one that he commented on Twitter, Instagram. And it's like, bro, you got way too much time on your hands, and you sitting around hating on somebody thinking like, oh, I'm doing something here. I'm doing it's the funny thing is, this was back in 2023. So at the time being, what I had like maybe 20-30,000 subscribers. What have you accomplished by hating on me? Like, okay, you got your 15 minutes of fame. Now what? Now where do you go from here? So that's why I'm like, yeah, man, go somewhere with that. Let that stuff go. If it's bothering you that much, you're the one that keeps putting yourself in that situation where you're sitting around. It's funny how like there's a friend of mine on TikTok. They just recently said this where it's like, you're hating on somebody for all this time, but you're the one that's purposely going out your way, watching their videos, looking at what they're talking about, even after being blocked or if you blocked them and stuff. But it's like you still go out your way, and it's like somehow, some way, that's my fault. The funny thing is that you turn on your computer or open up your phone, you open up YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whichever platforms I'm on, you open up these platforms. You put yourself in that position where you're the one that's looking at my content, and somehow, some way, that's my fault. I'd fam go somewhere with that. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.